It's the evening of December 20th, 1995. An American Airlines Boeing 757 is at the gate at Miami International Airport in Florida. The aircraft, registered as November 651 Alpha Alpha, is flying Flight 965, a 3-hour journey to Alfonso Bonilla Aragon Airport in Cali, Colombia. Flight 965 is being piloted by Captain Nicholas Tafuri and First Officer Donnie R. Williams. Both men are highly experienced, having accumulated over 2,000 hours on this type of aircraft, although this will be First Officer Williams' first time flying to Cali. On this leg, First Officer Williams was the pilot flying, while Captain Tafuri was the pilot monitoring. In the cabin are 155 passengers, with 6 flight attendants to look after them. Most of the passengers are Colombian citizens heading home for the Christmas holidays. Flight 965 was scheduled to depart at 4:40 p.m. but was delayed to wait for connecting passengers. High seasonal traffic congestion at Miami would push the departure time even further back. The flight finally left Miami at 6:35 p.m., almost 2 hours behind schedule. For most of the flight, the plane cruised at 37,000 feet. However, the delay in Miami had the pilots concerned. Due to FAA regulations regarding rest times, the crew must rest for a minimum of 10 hours before they can fly again. If Flight 965 does not land in Cali by 9:50 p.m., the return flight the next day will be forced to depart later than scheduled. At 9:25 p.m., Flight 965 is at a point on the flight known as the top of descent. The crew have to land in the next 25 minutes or jeopardize the return flight to home.
Well, let's see. We've got 136 miles to the VOR, 32,000 feet to lose, and slow down to move, so we might as well get started. Alright, sir. And if you can keep the speed up in the descent, it would help us too, okay?
Captain Tafuri radios air traffic control in Bogota to request a lower altitude.
Bogota, American 965, request descent.
American 965, descend and maintain flight level 240, report reaching.
Okay, we're leaving 370, descend and maintain 24024. Thank you, ma'am. American 965.
That's correct.
The plane is cleared to descend to 24,000 feet and instructed to report reaching the altitude.
24 set? Yes, sir. I'm gonna call the company. Okay.
Captain Tafuri uses the second radio and contacts American Airlines operations at Cali Airport to get the latest information on the airport environment.
American Airlines operations at Cali, this is American 965, do you read?
Go ahead, American 965, this is Cali Ops.
Alright, Cali, we'll be there in just about 24 minutes from now. Go ahead, the weather.
Okay, sir, the change of the temperature is 23 degrees. The altimeter, the QNH is 29.98. Conversion is 26.71.
Okay, understood. The weather is good. 23 degrees, 2998, 2670. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Are we parking at gate 2 tonight?
Gate 2 and runway 01.
Runway 01, roger. And the weather's good, huh?
Okay, Captain.
See you on the ground, 965.
With the information from Cali operations, the pilots now know what to expect at the airport. The information also confirms that the active runway at the airport is runway 01, which the crew had been expecting and had already programmed into the flight computer. Here's how the approach will happen. First, the aircraft will overfly the Talua VOR, identifier Uniform Lima Quebec. Then it will fly down a valley towards the Roseau NDB, before turning left and flying downwind of the airport towards the Cali VOR, identifier Charlie Lima Oscar. It will then turn right, intercept the ILS at 5,000 feet, and land from the south on runway 01. At 9:31 p.m., Flight 965 levels off at its last assigned altitude of 24,000 feet. Following the instructions, Captain Tafuri radios Bogota Center to inform them that the plane has leveled off.
American 965 is level 240.
There's a minute of silence over the radio. Believing that the Bogota controller may not have heard him, Captain Tafuri repeats the transmission.
American 965 is level 240.
Stand by 2 minutes for lower.
The Bogota controller is not yet able to grant the pilots a lower altitude, and holds them at 24,000 feet for another few minutes. Captain Tafuri is not pleased with the delay and remarks,
Well, she doesn't let us down, or she's gonna put me in the jam here.
just over a minute after the first request, Captain Tafuri again asks us for permission to continue descending.
American 965, request lower.
American 965, descend to flight level 200. Report leaving 240.
We're leaving 240 now and descending to 200. It's set.
Cali frequency 119 and decimal 1. Buenos noches.
Please say the frequency again.
119 and decimal 1.
119.1. Feliz Navidad, señorita.
Muchas gracias. Lo mismo.
Gracias.
At 9:34 p.m., Flight 965 is handed over to Cali Approach, who will oversee the flight's descent into the airport until its final approach to runway 01.
Cali approach, American 965.
American 965, good evening. Go ahead.
Buenos noches, señor. American 965, leaving 230, descending to 200. Go ahead, sir.
Tonight, the pilot and the controller have an additional challenge. 3 years earlier, the terrorist crew, known as the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, blew up the airport's radar equipment. Without radar, Cali Approach has no way to accurately track the position of incoming planes. Instead, they must rely on inbound planes to report their position to know where each plane is. Additionally, the controller cannot provide radar vectors to pilots to guide them to the airport. The onus is on the pilots to keep to the published approach procedures and minimum altitude restrictions.
The distance DME from Cali.
The DME is 63.
DME refers to distance measuring equipment. As the name suggests, it shows pilots how far the aircraft is from the waypoint that it has been set to. Flight 965 at this time is 63 miles from the Cali VOR.
Roger. It is cleared to Cali VOR, descend and maintain 5,000 feet, altimeter 3002. No delay expect for approach, report Tulua VOR.
Okay, understood. Clear direct to Cali VOR, report to Lua, and altitude is 15, that's 15,000, 3002. Is that all correct, sir?
Affirmative.
Thank you.
This is the first of many miscommunications to come. Captain Tufuri mistakenly believed he was instructed to proceed directly to the Cali VOR. However, the controller meant to instruct him to continue his original approach to the Cali VOR, which would involve passing over to Lua. Once they do that, the controller wants them to let him know.
I put direct Cali in there for you. Okay, thank you. 250 below tenure? Yeah. Flight attendants, please prepare for landing. Thank you.
Unaware of the misunderstanding, Captain Tufuri selects the Cali VOR on his flight management computer and sets it as the next waypoint for the plane to fly to. In the process, the Tulua VOR is erased from the flight computer. It's now 9:36 p.m. Flight 965 has been flying towards the Cali VOR for little more than a minute when Cali Approach radios the crew.
965 Cali.
965, go ahead, please.
Sir, the wind is calm. Are you able to approach runway 19er?
Normally, in the interest of safety, pilots want to land into the wind. The headwind allows the plane to fly at slower speeds and aids deceleration once it has touched down on the runway. Tonight, since the wind is calm, the controller offers Flight 965 an alternate approach. Rather than circle around the airport and land from the south on runway 01, the pilots could instead fly straight in and land from the north on runway 19. This could save the crew some time and expedite their arrival into Cali.
Would you like to shoot the 19 straight in? Yeah, we'll have to struggle to get down. We can do it.
From their current position, Flight 965 is simply too high and too fast to carry out the new approach safely. However, possibly under pressure to land in Cali on time, the pilots do not discuss the new approach for more than 4 seconds before accepting it.
Yes sir, we'll need a low altitude right away though.
Roger. American 965 is cleared to VOR DME approach runway 19er. Rosa number 1 arrival. Report to Lua VOR.
Clear the VOR DME to 19, Rosa 1 arrival, we'll report to VOR. Thank you sir.
Report to Lua VOR.
Report to Lua. I gotta give you go direct to Cali or Tulua? I thought he said there was one arrival. Yeah, he did. We're going to pull that out.
Having accepted the new approach, the pilots have just inadvertently increased their workload. Now, they need to locate, reposition, and study the new approach charts. Select and enter data for the new approach into the FMC. Cross-check information between the chart and the FMC. Verify that the selected data is correct. Recalculate the airspeeds, altitudes, and other control factors for the approach. Expedite their descent and slow down. And monitor the aircraft's course while maintaining communications with ATC. To increase their descent rate and slow the plane down, First Officer Williams extends the spoilers. These surfaces disrupt the airflow over the wings, increasing drag and reducing lift. However, the pilots are still unsure of their position relative to Tulua, because the waypoint had been erased earlier. With no idea where the Tulua beacon is, they can't report passing it to air traffic control. To try and cut themselves some slack, Captain Tafuri radios Cali approach to ask for a shortcut.
Can American Airlines 965 go direct to Roseau and then do the Roseau arrival, sir?
There are two problems with this request from Captain Tafuri. First and foremost, going directly to Roseau is a very bad idea. On their charts, the Roseau NDB is just 3 miles from the threshold of runway 19, and is supposed to be the last waypoint the plane passes over before touching down on the runway. No aircraft should start its approach so close to the airport. Secondly, the Roseau 1 arrival procedure begins at the Tulua VOR. To do the Roseau 1 arrival after flying directly to Roseau, as Captain Tafuri has requested, will require the aircraft to fly down to Roseau, do a 180-degree turn back up towards Tulua, then another 180-degree turn down to Roseau, and finally to the runway. An absolutely ludicrous idea. Unsure of what to make of this request, and without a sufficiently strong command of English to further clarify the captain's request, the controller replies,
Affirmative. Take the Roseau 1 and runway 19. The wind is calm.
Alright, Roseau, the Roseau 1 to 19. Thank you. American 965.
Here, another miscommunication occurs. The approach controller has just repeated his original instructions to Flight 965. Fly the full Roseau 1 arrival that starts at Tulua. However, Captain Tafuri thinks he has received approval to fly directly to the Roseau NDB and start the approach from there.
Report Tulua and 21 miles, 5,000 feet.
Okay, report to Tulua, 21 miles and 5,000 feet, American 965.
The controller again reminds the crew to report passing the Tulua beacon and clears them to descend to 5,000 feet. Unbeknownst to both parties, the aircraft has already passed over the Tulua VOR. The time is now 9:38 PM.
Okay, so get down to 5 now. That's right. And off Roseau. Which I'll tune here, see what I get. Yeah.
Captain Tafuri now makes the gravest error of the night. Believing he has received permission to fly directly to the Roseau NDB, he begins to program the aircraft to do just that. On his chart, the Roseau NDB is identified by the letter R. He punches this into the flight management computer, which offers him several choices of waypoints, all beginning with R, with the option at the top being the closest to the aircraft. What he and First Officer Williams don't know is that there is another beacon several hundred miles away in Bogota called the Romeo NDB, also identified by the letter R. Since there could not be two beacons with the same identifier in the same country, Jepson Sanderson, the company that provided the FMC navigation data to American Airlines, assigned the Roseau NDB with the identifier ROZO. Only by keying in all 4 letters would the beacon show up on the FMC menu. However, this information was not reflected in the approach charts. Unaware of this, Captain Tafuri selects the first option offered, assuming it is the Roseau NDB, and pushes the execute button. American Airlines procedures at the time stated that both pilots are to verify and approve of the input before the execute button is pushed. Had they done this, the pilots would have noticed a dotted line on their navigation display, showing the path the plane would take to the selected beacon, which would involve a turn to the left. They would then be able to see that they had selected the incorrect beacon, since Roseau should be ahead of them, not off to their left. However, Captain Tafuri does not check with his first officer before he hits the execute button on his flight management computer. The plane now begins turning to the left, on autopilot, flying towards the Romeo NDB at Bogota. All the while, both Tafuri and Williams have their heads down, studying the runway 19 approach chart.
21 miles and 5,000 spot the approach, okay? Okay. Of ULQ, put ULQ in here, 77, because I want to be on raw data with you.
American 965, distance now.
Oh, what do you want, sir?
Distance DME.
Okay, the distance from Cali is 38.
It is around this time when the controller asks Flight 965 for its distance to the airport that First Officer Williams looks up and realizes something is wrong.
Where are we? We going up to... Let's go out to Tallulah first of all, okay? Yeah, where are we headed? 17.7 ULQ, I don't know what's this ULQ. What happened here? Manual?
First Officer Williams engages heading mode and commands the autopilot to turn the aircraft back to the right.
Let's come to the right a bit. Yeah, I just want to know where we're headed. ULQ, I'm gonna give you direct to Tallulah.
Captain Tafuri inputs ULQ and its corresponding radio frequency into his flight computer, telling the aircraft to fly to it. But because the autopilot is now on heading mode, the plane ignores this new command.
Oh, okay. Right now, okay, you got it? Okay. It's on your map, should be. Yeah, it's a left turn, left turn. Yeah, I gotta identify that
The Nav-1 radio begins picking up the signal on the Tallulah beacon.
Okay, I'm getting it. 17.7 just doesn't look right on mine, I don't know why.
Captain Tafuri's "doesn't look right on mine" comment is most likely referring to his navigational display, which shows the path the aircraft should be taking to get to the Tallulah beacon. Since he doesn't know that he has already passed the Tallulah beacon, he still thinks it should be ahead of him, not behind him like his display is showing.
So you want a left turn, back round to ULQ. No, hell no, let's press on to, press on the weather. Tallulah.
Both pilots are now completely disoriented and have lost their situational awareness, with no idea where they are, where they're headed, or where they're supposed to go. Despite this, neither one suggests aborting the approach.
That's a right, where are we going? 1, 2, come to the right, let's go to Cali first of all. We got f***ed up here, didn't we? Yeah. Go direct CLO, how did we get f***ed up here? Come to the right now. Come to the right now. Yeah, we're in the heading selected on my right.
Captain Tafuri once again radios Cali approach to clarify their approach instructions.
An American 38 miles north of Cali, and you want us to go to Tallulah and then do the Roseau to the runway, right? To runway 19.
Yes, you can land at runway 19er. You can use runway 19er. What is altitude and DME from Cali?
Okay, we're 37 DME at 10,000 feet.
According to Captain Tafuri's position report, Flight 965 has traveled only 1 mile since the previous report 2 minutes earlier. If the plane was on course, they should have traveled further in that time. However, without radar, the controller can't help them or give them any form of guidance. Furthermore, the pilots don't mention to the controller at all that they are lost.
You're okay, you're in good shape.
Report 5,000 and final to 11, runway 19er.
We're heading the right direction. You wanna take the 19 yet? Come to the right. Come right to Cali for now, okay? Okay. It's a Tallulah I'm not getting for some reason. See, I can't get. Okay, now. Nope. Tallulah's up. Okay, yeah. But I can put it in the box if you want it. I don't want Tallulah. Let's just go to the extended standard line of which is Roseau. Why don't you just go direct to Roseau then, alright? Okay, I'm gonna put that over you.
Rather than abort the approach, climb to the safe altitude and start over from Tuluá. Both pilots tried to salvage it by flying directly to the Roseau NDB. Again. However, what the pilots don't know is that when they flew off course, they crossed over the mountain ranges to the east. Now that they're trying to head back, those mountains are standing between them and the airport. The time is now 9:41 PM.
965 altitude.
965, 9,000 feet.
Roger. Distance now?
The controller will not get a response from Flight 965.
Terrain.
The aircraft's ground proximity warning system, or GPWS, goes off, warning the pilots of imminent collision with the ground.
Terrain. Pull up.
Following his training, First Officer Williams executes a GPWS escape maneuver. He disconnects the autopilot and autothrottle, applies full power, and pulls back on the yoke to make the aircraft climb.
Okay.
Pull up.
So steep is the climb being commanded that the 757 stick shaker goes off. First Officer Williams reduces back pressure on the yoke to keep the plane from stalling. However, neither he nor Captain Tafuri retract the spoilers, which were extended earlier and are now hampering the 757's ability to climb.
Up, baby. Whoa. Okay. Up.
Pull up.
Traveling at a speed of 187 knots, in a nose-up altitude of almost 30 degrees, Flight 965 crashed to the side of the mountain named El Diluvio. The crash site was 37 miles north of the Cali VOR at an altitude of 8,900 feet. Of the 163 people on board, only 5 survived. One tragically died 2 days later from his injuries. A dog that was being transported in the plane's cargo hold was also found alive. The 102-page long report produced by the Civil Aviation Authority of Colombia listed 4 probable causes to the accident. All can be attributed to pilot error. The report also listed 4 contributing factors to the accident, such as the crew's efforts to expedite the approach and their failure to retract the spoilers during the execution of the GPWS escape maneuver. The report made several recommendations to the industry. Chief among those recommendations was to improve the GPWS system.
Terrain.
From the first terrain warning, the pilots of American 965 had only 12 seconds to respond before they hit the mountain. This was because the GPWS system at the time relied solely on the radio altimeter to warn pilots if they were close to hitting the ground. Because the radio altimeter could only sense terrain below the aircraft, it could not adequately warn the pilots if there was high terrain, like a hill or mountain ahead of them. In 1996, enhanced GPWS was introduced. This system solved the flaw in its predecessor by using GPS information to detect terrain around the aircraft, which could then be displayed on the pilot's navigational displays. The new system would give pilots earlier warnings and allow more time for GPWS escape maneuvers to be carried out. The report also recommended that aircraft be equipped with systems that automatically retract the spoilers when maximum thrust and climb rate is commanded, such as during a GPWS escape maneuver. Officially, it could not be determined precisely if the aircraft would have missed the mountain if the spoilers had been retracted during the escape attempt. However, the report went on to quote an initial study of the flight's performance in the final seconds following the GPWS warnings. Tragically, the results of said study suggested that if the flight crew had retracted the spoilers, the plane could have gained at least another 150 feet of altitude before its final impact point. That would have been enough to clear the mountain and avert disaster. Following the accident, the Roseau NDB was renamed to the Palma NDB. It is now identified by the letters PL, finally resolving the confusion between the 2 beacons in the same country that bear the same identifier and the same radio frequency. American Airlines still flies to Cali from Miami in the evening as Flight 921, using a Boeing 737-800. The carrier retired the last Boeing 757s in 2020, an early retirement brought about by the drop in air travel caused by the COVID-19 pandemic.